Gentlemen, listen, we still got about 20 minutes, give or take. I want to keep it focused on the Tokyo Game Show, but I want to do that with a twist. Now, today is a special day for anyone who's a Sega head, and of course, I'm looking at my brothers, King David, Lord Cognito, Neo GameSpark, my brother Neo Mental, myself. You guys on the panel, a lot of people in the chat. This is the 26th anniversary of the Dreamcast, 9/9/99. I remember my brother was working at FuncoLand at the time, right? Which when it was before, any old OGs know what I'm talking about. FuncoLand was what it was called before it was GameStop. And he was working on the store in Central Avenue where I started many, many years ago. Before I became a police officer, I was a manager at FuncoLand on Central Avenue, believe it or not. And then I got my own store. I was an assistant manager, and I got my own store in Nanuet. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. It was crazy. They just gave me a store because they thought I knew what I was doing. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But 9/9/99 here in New Rochelle, New York, which is, of course, where my wife and I we weren't even married at the time. We were living together, but it happened to be a monsoon, and the Hutchinson River Parkway was underwater, under 5 feet of water. And somehow or another, I found my way up to Central Avenue by taking the side streets from here in New Rochelle. There was no GPS back then, so you had to kind of figure it out yourself. And I ran parallel to the highway until I got into Yonkers, and I'm like, okay, I know where I'm going to pick him up to bring him home, but to also pick up my Dreamcast and every launch title that they released. I bought everything. BMUs, I had multiple controllers, every game and that launch I bought. It was still one of my favorite launch lists of games. But why we're talking about the Dreamcast is because of a tweet that came the way of Hazador Gaming. And of course, this man, he just keeps it a buck. He puts out such great information on Twitter. If you're not following him already, please follow Hazador Gaming. And no G, just GAMIN. Well, we know that that Sega is going to have 9 games to show. One of which is going to be Sonic Racing. Makes sense. The game is coming out, which, by the way, if you haven't played the demo, go play it. There's a new demo happening on the 17th. Phenomenal. Have you played it, Kay?
I have. I got a chance to play it at Gamescom. Very fun. Like it gives. They will come for me. It gives Mario Kart a run for its money. It gives. Really
I will say it. I'll say it with you in unison. It gives Mario Kart a run for its money. It is freaking phenomenal.
I'm just saying.
Yes, that's fine. They're also going to be showing off the new Virtual Fighter 5 Revo World Stage, Football Manager 26, P3, Persona 3 Reloaded, and P5X, Persona 5, the Phantom X. But there's, as much as that's interesting, great. Those are titles that some people are going to get excited for. I'm here for anything new Virtual Fighter. We haven't had one in a long time. But that's not what we're here to talk about, gentlemen. Okay, because a couple of years ago, Sarah Bond obviously met with the fine folks in Japan at Sega. She took pictures of it. Remember, we thought they were going to buy. Remember, everyone said, "Oh, look, she took pictures. That means that they're going to acquire Sega." I remember that conversation. Everyone, I know you're smiling wherever you're listening from. But out of the block of slots, there are 4 empty slots, and it says coming soon. Now, we just had Shinobi come out, which I think is going to be in the Game of the Year running. That game is, Kay, you could not have given it more praise than you gave it to me. And when I finally got a chance to play it, it's one of those games you can't. I'll put it to this way. It's one of my favorite games of the year. I know it's only about 14 hours. I'm an OG Sega Master System. Was that the first Shinobi? Was the Master System or was it the Genesis?
I think it was the Master.
Might have been the Master System. I know the Genesis had the one with Shinobi where he fought Godzilla and a guy that looked like Batman. I remember that. That was actually really good. But
Yes, Shinobi was on the Master System.
Yeah, okay, so I played it first there. Look, there are 4 slots, and the reason why I mentioned Sarah Bond is because we learned from her that they were teaming up with Sega to do the Super Game Initiative, and it's been super quiet ever since. Now, they've been working on some stuff. We saw some trailers. Remember, we had a trailer at the Game Awards a couple of years ago where we got glimpses of some of the games they were working on. Golden Axe. I believe they're working on a new Altered Beast. There is a new Streets of Rage, Jet Set Radio, which, of course, I think is going to show up there in a big way. Guys, there are 4 slots. My question to you and to the chat is, what 4 OG Sega games do you want to see show up at the Tokyo Game Show? Because I know which ones I want. And but I want to get your thoughts, because again, just based on the quality from Shinobi, they're cooking over at Sega. So the new Sonic Racer, chef's kiss, ladies and gentlemen. Go play the demo, and there's a new demo I think dropping on the 17th of September. Go download it. It is chef's kiss. If you like Mario Kart or you like any of the other Sega races, you're going to freaking love this. It is fast. It is gorgeous. That's 2 for 2 in my opinion. But again, I saw a little bit of Streets of Rage, a little bit of Golden Axe. It looks crazy. Jet Set Radio is, peaked its, showing a peak. Oh, man, dude, like what so Kei Asante, what 4 Sega games would you be hopeful that would show up at the Tokyo Game Show?
So, and these are just wild, speculatory Sega games that just out of nowhere that you'd want to have come back.
Well, we know Jet Set Radio was number 1 for you,
because Jet Set Radio is number 1 for me. So that's out of the running, right? But I do have some games in my head that I remember from the days of yore that I distinctly remember fondly that I would love to have come back. One being Altered Beast.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Yes.
Loved Altered Beast. 2, Outrun. I don't know why. I loved Outrun.
Bro, that is a great pick, dude. Holy crap.
Right? There was a fighting game that I also loved so much, and I see Comic Zone. Obviously, that's low hanging fruit. Comic Zone for sure. Absolutely, Comic Zone. Yes. Isn't there like a Comic Zone? Everborn was talking to me about that recently. There's like a Comic Zone that's not being made officially by Sega. It's like there's a Nintendo. There's a on Steam, and it's also kind of cool. Like it's like zero Comic Zone. Like it's a weird. I'll find the video and send it to you, Boom. But people are making renditions. Ninja Squirrel 30. That's one as well. Shadow Dancer. Oh my god, I love Shadow Dancer.
That's
I played
crazy.
The hell out of that game.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my god. Yeah.
And then Leonard Herrera reminds me of the game I was talking about. I was gonna go grab my fight stick that's right over there. We're talking Eternal Champions.
Oh, bro, yes. That. Oh my god, that's amazing.
The one.
Freaking great picks, bro. So you know what, Hargeet, before we bring you in, brother, I just want to read some of the people, some of the chat's thoughts. So Leonard Herrera says Fantasy Star remake. Oh, bro, yes. King Webb says Streets of Rage, absolutely. Negative Zero said Eternal Champions, but he also said Panzer Dragon ZW. Well, guess what? Your wish has been answered because there's a remake coming. I think it's gonna be $20. Awesome. Panzer Dragon ZW is getting a remake like Panzer Dragon the original. And I think it's like $20. Day one purchase for me. We also have here They Can't Stop Me said Comic Zone. Nino Vestic says Virtual Tennis. Oh wow, that's a really good one, dude. I like that. Be Nice says Golden Axe, Altered Beast, Afterburner. Whoa, my god, that would be a great one. But Hargeet, I don't know how much of a Sega fan you were. Obviously, I'm gushing. And I'll get to the couple of super chats that we got here. We do have a gifted membership as well. What do you want to see Sega? Because again, this is an opportunity. Sega is on a good run, right? They've done really well with the Persona series. They've done really well with the Dragon series. They just released Shinobi to incredible reviews. Sonic is charting with the people because of the demo that's out that you can play. It is really well done. I don't know if it's any of the old school AM team members making this game, but it sure feels like it, especially if you are an OG like me that played these games from the AM2 team in the arcades. So it definitely has that feeling. What 4 games are you hoping show up there?
Well, I mean, many have been mentioned. I like some of the newer stuff too, but if we only want to look at older games, Altered Beast, and I think I put this out there, was like if they took that and did like an Order 1886 level thing with it.
Holy crap,
that would be a really cool thing to pull off.
That would be awesome.
Right. And then they had Golden Axe. Afterburner is kind of an interesting one. I'm not that much into racers, but that'd be an interesting one to bring up because it was kind of more of an arcadey game. If they could really do like a Forza Horizon level, right, type thing to that could be interesting. But look, I'm much more fond of kind of the newer stuff too. So like the Yakuza series, yes, that's awesome stuff. Let's have more of that.
Okay, that's fair.
So and Atlas is good. I just finished like Persona 3 Reload, I think was the one I just did. Done 5, 4, right? So if they wanted to do some of the older ones, like they've been doing that, right? So maybe they do some of the originals, like the 1 and 2, whatever, right? They could go do that as well. So there's plenty of potential there. I've never gotten into the Phantasy Star, like that's them, right? Phantasy Star, I think is them, right? So I never really got into theirs to that that genre or that franchise. Sorry, so they kind of moved on from one of the other ones that I really liked, which was Shenmue. I think that was Sega originally, right? And then they moved on, and they did like the Yakuza series, and then the creator of Shenmue went and did Shenmue 3, which apparently is coming to Xbox.
Yes, I'm buying.
But if they like collab that to make like a full-on new version of 4, that'd be awesome. Or just even like update 1 and 2 to be like a more modern rendition of that, right? That'd be interesting to see. So I know that's more than 4, but no,
it's okay. Listen, it's
that would be interesting to me. Is those kind of games, but yeah.
Someone actually just said, what if they did some sort of a Shenmue Yakuza crossover?
I mean, Yakuza really is the spiritual successor.
It really
Shenmue,
is.
Right?
Ultimately, that's exactly what it is. So, yep.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so they could certainly look at doing some, and somebody just put in like the Yakuza Kiwamis, right? They've done sort of a redux of the original couple of games. Like, could they do that for the next few, like 3 to 5, right? To kind of bring them up to speed, right? They're kind of older style games because they're kind of old at this point, but bring them up to a more modern look. Those are definitely awesome potentials. But I would love to see like a Shenmue 4, just bring that franchise back to some level of prominence. But I don't know if they're really, interested in partnering on that or not. But yeah, there's plenty of stuff there. I would love to see, like, as I said, like Altered Beast, but bring it to like that Order 1886 level, do something crazy with it. That'd be kind of cool, right? Like, let's go.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, listen, they don't get any more classic than Sega. Sega, I think, is on definitely a high swing. Music 72 in the chat says too that I actually would fall out of my chair for, and that's a new Daytona or Sega Rally. Like, oh my God, yes! I think it was like a month ago, I was playing Daytona on the Series X. Like, because obviously, if you had it downloaded from the Xbox 360 days, you can download it. I played it. My God, there's nothing like hearing that rolling start as the game to get you excited as an OG Sega fan.